bargain came to be in the 1970s when there was a lot of worker strife around the state. There were things like teacher strikes, and down in Keokuk, Iowa, teachers, male teachers were given something called a stud fee or a stud payment, where they were paid more than women teachers because they were the head of their household, but women did not qualify for that type of pay increase. So those are the types of things that really show that there was a demand for this law to be created. And a Republican legislature and a Republican governor were the ones that signed Chapter 20 into law and debated it for, was it 11 days, almost 3 weeks up at the Capitol. And so it was a very thought out, deliberative process to get collective bargaining in our state. And throughout the last almost 50 years, it has not swung one way or the other. There's been minor tweaks to it, but it has not changed. When one party was in power, those changes, there was recommended changes to open the scope and allow public sector workers to bargain over the same things that private sector workers bargain over. And that was vetoed by a governor, and that never came to fruition. So right now it's been a very moderate law where it hasn't done one swing to the left or the right, and we are expecting that the legislature does want to do changes this year, and we want to prevent any swings into a direction that would really shuffle things up and hurt Iowa workers. Currently, the law, just to go over the basics, like I said, the scope of what public sector workers are allowed to bargain is pretty narrow. They can bargain pay, they can bargain their health insurance, they can bargain health and safety matters, they can bargain training. These are all mandatory subjects of bargaining, which mean both the employer and the employees have to set what those standards are going to be in their workplace. There's also permissive subjects of bargaining, which means that both the employer and the employee have to agree to have a conversation on those types of things if they want it in their contract. And then there's illegal topics of bargaining. And in the Iowa Code, the one illegal topic of bargaining is retirement. Employees do not get a say in their retirement. That is set by management, it's set by the legislature, IPERS. And so that's kind of an overview of what employees can and can't bargain here in Iowa. And Charlie can offer a perspective. That's public sector. In the private sector,
well, so Morgan gave a list. Now the private sector list is smaller. It's hours, wages, and conditions of employment. And conditions of employment can cover about anything. So the private sector law a few years ago, what I think the intent was is to say, why does one group of workers get to bargain over certain issues and others don't?
Yeah. So what the process is to collectively bargain in our state with public sector workers is both the employer and the employees form a bargaining team, and they agree to ground rules, they agree to meetings, and then they start negotiations. And if you guys signed in, I don't know if you were able to grab, we do have a little 101 on Chapter 20 and how collective bargaining works in our state, so you're welcome to follow along. But once these two sides start negotiating, they negotiate until they find an agreement. And in 97% of the time, both the employer and the employees are able to come to the table and find an agreement. And that less than 3% of the time, they can't seem to come to the table and find a solution. They can use mediation, where a third party person can come and try to mediate and get both sides to understand each other's issues and find a solution. And then in rare cases, your contract can go to arbitration. The contract negotiations can go to arbitration. And that is when a third-party arbitrator comes in, and both the employers and the employees have to make their best and final offer on the table. This causes people to have to, you're not going to see people put a 20% raise increase in there or a cut to pay, because you want to be as reasonable as possible, because ultimately the arbitrator by law gets to choose one side or the other. And so you want to have an extremely reasonable offer to make your offer the one the arbitrator chooses. And so That is arbitration. It is very rare. In our state, like I said, 97% of contracts are negotiated at the table and do not go to arbitration. This law has worked for almost 50 years. Like I said, it didn't swing one way or the other. It forces workers and employers to come together and air out grievances at the table and really talk about the services that these workers are providing and the important issues in the workplace. And so it really fosters communication and harmony among the employees and the employer. Jim, I'll turn